here to talk about this is Ted Spaulding. He is a personal injury lawyer at Spaulding Injury Law. So good to see you, Ted. So first off, how unusual you'd have dismissed charges only to now be, I guess, reopened before a new grand jury, that this case is not quite done for Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, it's obviously not unheard of, but unusual. And it makes you wonder, I was thinking the other day, what new evidence do they have? This video then comes out. Is it the video? Is it something else we don't know about? That's what's going to be interesting, because it is abnormal to do it this way.
What is this video, from what we've seen, what does this video tell you? I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but he's going through the steps. He's treating this, even though it's a prop gun, right? Everyone on the set knows it to be a prop gun, with the seriousness as if it were a live gun. But how would that be used against him? How is that incriminating, potentially?
So I think it might be a part of the evidence that a prosecutor could use to show criminal intent, those sorts of elements. I don't think in and of itself it helps them a lot. What I mean by that is, in my realm, it would be massively helpful. It shows duty. It shows he knows what the standards are. Hey, don't stand in front.
In your realm, if you were the defense attorney, if you were defending him. Okay,
correct.
Continue.
So my thought would be, it might be part of the elements to build something, but I don't think it's no pun intended, the smoking gun, right? I don't think it's the end all be all. They seem to be more focused on him saying he didn't pull the trigger versus what does the physical evidence show, did he actually pull the trigger or not? So they seem to be leaning more that way than this video. So it's going to be real interesting to see how that plays out.
And isn't a centerpiece of the case still what you knew prior to pulling the trigger, whether you pulled it or not? Because here you are, the actor, you've got a scene, you want it to look as real as possible. You're going to pull the trigger of a prop gun. But isn't the issue what you knew about that gun and whether it was loaded with live ammunition before pulling the trigger? If that is still the predicate of the entire case, what difference does it make about your familiarity with the scene? You know, role playing, when you're going to use the gun, when you're going to pull it, where you're going to point it?
Yeah. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter, in my opinion. It matters to the extent it establishes negligence. So he knew the duties, he knew the standards, he knew the rules in holding this gun and how to use it. But they've got to show in the criminal context, in essence, gross negligence, recklessness. That's where more of...
Meaning you knew there could potentially be a live round in there and you're waving around willy-nilly?
Exactly. Gross negligence is what we're looking for here. So we need more.
Okay. Have a listen to the New Mexico District Attorney about why she wants to bring these charges in this manner.
There was such a lack of safety and safety standards on that set that there were live rounds on set. They were mixed in with regular dummy rounds. He didn't check it. He didn't do any of the things that he was supposed to do to make sure that he was safe or that anyone around him was safe. And then he pointed the gun at Helena Hutchins and he pulled the trigger.
So is that for him, the actor, the producer, to do, or for the prop master to do?
Well, that's certainly part of the defense, right? Alec is going to say, look, that's why we have all these people on set, including the armorer who is supposed to be doing all of this. So I'm the actor, I get the gun, I'm relying on everyone else. That's going to be his defense. Now, of course, the prosecutor is going to say, it does not matter who else you have. When you're holding the gun, the law says you have to know and you have to be following all of these policies and procedures. Again, as you heard her say at the end, that's where the video might come in. He pointed the gun at her. We see in that video he was talking about, hey, stand on the other side of the camera so I'm not pointing the gun at you. So that's
awareness,
what I meant.
So it shows that his awareness.
He has awareness of it. So it might be an element that can be used, but they've got all of these things they need to prove to get to gross negligence, that extreme recklessness, to have criminal culpability.
Alec Baldwin has already settled a lawsuit with the family of the cinematographer, Helena Hutchins, who was killed. But could the video that we see have any, I guess, new potential impact on a civil case?
I don't think so. It depends on the agreement that was reached, but in ordinary civil cases, you're going to settle any and all claims forever. And that's going to be a huge document, multiple pages, going to cover every single scenario, new evidence that could come in. We are settling and resolving all of it. So I don't think this has anything to do with civil.
Yeah. Somewhere along the line, it would seem, in terms of the investigative end of this, we see this video. That is prior to, the incident, obviously. Somewhere in investigative phase, there has to be a tracing of that weapon that he's firing there, where nothing terrible happens, and in between the moment where something terrible happens, a death, an injury happen. How vital is that in now what is going to be presented to the grand jury? I mean, it seems like that's the difference of case dismissed and now we have enough for a new case.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And from what I understand, the defense had already been talking about that out in the public. They were wanting DNA testing of the bullets.
Right, fingerprints,
who knew what,
handled it.
when? How did we know we had live ones in with dummy ones?
Right.
Who was the person that was negligent in that scenario? So yes, all this testing, very, very important, because the defense is going to poke at every little thing. Hey, you didn't do this testing, you didn't do that testing. We don't know what happened with the gun for X amount of hours in between or days in between. So the defense is going to poke holes any which way they can. Prosecutors need to shore all that up.
All right, we will see. Ted Spaulding, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good
Happy
to see
holidays.
You as well.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.